Ahoy hoy! I am Planawalk, and welcome to a live stream. That's a Q&A live stream. How was everyone doing? I'm the one answering the questions, by the way. It's me. I'm the one asking the questions, by the way. It's me asking the questions. Everyone else answers. That would be an interesting idea for a live stream. I've also got a guest with me.
Rusty's not talking at the moment, I'm afraid.
That's unfortunate. But in all seriousness, this is a live stream where people are allowed to ask questions as long as I feel like they are in good faith and respectful. Then I'll answer them. And so you can try and hit me with hard questions if you want. Don't try and hit me with anything hard because that will probably hurt. But hard questions should be good. I did see one from earlier on that I should probably answer from Miranda Rensberger. When you first came out, you said you were fine with either she or they pronouns. Is that still the case, or have you developed a preference for one or the other? Yeah, I'm still okay with she or they. Yeah, she or they is fine. Do you have anything you want to say, Dave?
What would you say has been the toughest thing in the past year for you to get through?
Oh, that is a good question, because the toughest thing for me in the past year hasn't actually been anything to do with my transition in particular. The toughest thing would actually have to be like roadworks happening outside my place. Just like incidental things that have made it harder for me to do what I want to do, and it's like, but like if I want to talk about the toughest thing related to my transition, I'd probably say the fact that there are a lot of people that did drop off after watching me, after I came out, I mean. And it's like, and that has definitely hurt viewership. It hasn't helped that I haven't been able to record videos or anything lately.
Okay. Well, that kind of links to that question from Rin. How have people been in your everyday life? Have they generally been supportive?
Yeah, actually, like, I have found since coming out that, or since even transitioning, that a lot of my friends just so happen to also be trans. So they are, all supportive. There's no real question about that. But then there's also my family, who is also quite supportive. Obviously, there are a few people in my family that may not have the best way of saying things or wording things or anything like that, but they're not outright hostile.
They're just maybe sort of not entirely sure how to approach it, you mean?
It's one of those things where there's like definitely you know that they don't understand it and are very confused by it and not fully accepting, but it's like they don't they don't yell slurs at me or anything.
Yeah.
And we have a super chat. Can you elaborate on the atrophy thing you mentioned yesterday? A close friend is on HRT, different meds, and never had atrophy. Wondering if it is med specific. So the atrophy thing. I think it's just in. So I think it comes down to what you do. There is a bit of a saying in the trans community that I know, and that is, if you don't use it, you lose it. And I think if you use it enough, then you should be able to avoid the worst of atrophy. I don't think it's anything specific. I do think it probably has to do with your dosage as well. Like, if you have a high dosage, then atrophy is going to be much more likely. If you have a low dosage, then atrophy is going to be a lot less likely. Oh, what the? Oh, I forgot that,
Howdy.
Howdy. I forget that people that are mods can enter.
I know I've been missing in action for a while. I'm sorry. I'll just chill here and pretend I don't exist.
Anyway, is there any... here, I just saw a comment. Sometimes it's hard to see the comments in the chat. Or see the questions in the chat because... Pete Johnson says, don't want to start a debate with everyone, but what is your opinion about the whole trans woman and competing in women's sports? Really interested in your actual opinion. Okay. My opinion on that is that... How do I put it? Is that everyone is looking at it from the wrong point of view. Right? So, the point of view that I think a lot of people are looking at it from is a point of view of, is it fair for a trans woman to compete against a cis woman? That's the wrong way to look at it. The way to look at it is, how do we make it fair for a trans woman to compete against a cis woman? That is the thing that I want to that I would take it from, because it's not as though we can't make it fair. Like, testosterone definitely has an impact on the amount of muscle that you have, or the amount, how easy it is to build and retain muscle. The problem that I think that we get is that people don't realize that we could have different levels for cis women and trans women, and say, okay, if you're a cis woman, you can have this range of testosterone, whereas if you're a trans woman, to compensate for maybe advantages that might have been conferred to you from puberty, we're going to have a slightly lower one to even it out a bit. And I think that would solve things, at least to some extent. I don't know if anyone else has any... I haven't seen any... Well, I've seen it's just like weight classes in wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, that's... Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt because you were saying something really important and your perspective is obviously the one they came for. I'm just... they already do that. Like, there are cases where cis women have been kept out of sports because their testosterone was too high.
Yeah.
They're already doing that. Those limits are already in place.
That is true.
I just fully bring that up, sorry.
Yeah. I just noticed that Nebulan says, have you lost any friendships? Not from being trans that I can think of. Any friendships that I've lost is from me not keeping in touch with someone, or potentially other things. I can't think of any that have been... I can't think of any friendships that I've lost from being trans, which I think is good. It's probably more common in places like New Zealand rather than overseas. I know in America things can be quite toxic. Do we have... I'm starting to not be able to catch all the things. Coyote says, would another solution of opening another division of sports specifically to trans people, if that's not a good idea, why come? Okay. I don't think that's a good idea for the reason of that it would not get funded. We already have an issue with women's sports where a lot of women's sports are very underfunded. To fund there would be sometimes you wouldn't even have enough trans athletes to be able to even compete. To actually have a competition. The point of a competition is to have people competing against each other. If you're just running down the track by yourself, and that's the competition, that is that's not going to work out well. That is not a competition. So yeah. Oh, we got another super chat from Rosyna Ripsneck saying they'll sex check black cis women in various sports and ban them if T is too high. They're also forbidden from playing in male categories. Yeah, that is a big issue as well. And
yeah, that's part of what I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, there is a problem with the fact that some people do have unfair advantages over, or not even unfair, but like advantages over other people. Like Michael Phelps has an advantage over everyone else. We don't ban him from being able to compete in swimming. The issue is that you're always going to have those unfair advantages, or not even, as I said, not even unfair, but just advantages that, it's either you make someone take some kind of testosterone blocker, or you come up with a different solution.
This might be a controversial suggestion. I already posed it in chat. I was thinking, what if instead of dividing by man or woman, which is kind of arbitrary anyway, we divided by testosterone and estrogen concentrations in the blood? So just instead of judging by what your genitals look like when you were born, we can judge by how you actually are in the present. So just like how there are weight classes.
That is a interesting way to potentially do it. However, that does run into the issue of is testosterone the only factor? Not
it's
always.
Not. Sometimes it has to do with muscle mass that already exists.
Sometimes
like if someone...
Sometimes it has to do with height, and like running, for example, height is very important. So sometimes it's a combination of two different things, and to categorize things based off two different things can be tricky. And
it could be like we could come up with an algorithm or something, just like instead of basing it solely on what your genitals look like, it should be based on multiple things. It's too arbitrary at the moment. Like if we're gonna be dividing people in sports, at least we should be smart about it instead of using the genital horoscope crap. Okay?
Yeah.
We can be smarter about it. We just haven't been yet.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of different stuff that we could do.
It's like a lot of people are saying, oh, just ban outright if they have an unfair advantage. No, just give them their own class if they're like a different advantage. Like I'm saying, they already do it in wrestling. They already like separate people by weight. So just do the same thing, but in all the other sports. Not with weight specifically, but with other categorizations.
Anyway, I just saw a question from Sable Eagle saying, can we ask silly questions too? Yoink or yeet? Would you rather be able to... So yes, it is fine to ask silly questions, especially if you feel the topic is getting a bit too serious. Because like I do want this, like as I said in my video, sometimes I feel like the sometimes I feel like the topics around trans people gets a little bit too I don't know how to put it, like negative. Right, and very heated as well. Where it's like, because I hate the trans sports discussion because it is so. It's firstly, it's not relevant to me. trying to attack me based on trans women in sports, like that has nothing to do with me, you know. I do have opinions on that, but like so does everyone. Everyone and their grandmother seems to have opinions on that. I feel like a lot of that stuff is used primarily to attack trans people, and it's like sometimes I want to talk about some of the more positive stuff, like you know, like there was something that I wanted to mention in the video, like yeah, one of the things I forgot to mention in the video is one of the positives of coming out is trans can now finally wear whatever I want, and it doesn't matter.
I mean, who was stopping you before?
I mean, it was one of those things where it's like I just wore stuff to kind of fit in with what might be expected of a cis guy. So yeah.
See, even before I realized I was agender, I didn't care what I wore, and the only ones who cared were my parents.
Yeah, well,
so I would wear like. Sorry.
For me, it's more doing YouTube stuff, you know. When it comes to wearing, like, if I'm wearing something like a really nice top, like if I'm wearing a really nice top, then then if it's a woman's one, then people ask questions. And it's like, okay, I feel like it should be a thing where I come out first and then wear whatever I want. And, you know, like I'm wearing something that I like wearing. It gives off lesbian vibes I like. Anyway, let me see what... Oh, there was...
You've got quite an important question from Mr. 42 asking, do you pronounce it GIF or GIF?
It is
that's
GIF.
An incredibly important question.
It is GIF. There is no argument. There is no argument there. Like,
I want to say, oh, sorry. Before we change the subject too much, the last thing I want to say is that trying to bring sports into the equation when asking you personal questions is like, it's not even a good ad hominem. It's ad hominem, but it's not even a good one because it's not even relevant.
Yeah, I don't think the person who asked was trying to use it to attack me. I do want to I do want to say that I don't think they were trying to attack me because it is something that a lot of people have opinions on. I just dislike that topic because of the fact that it is so much used, and it's one of those things that is complicated or people try to make it complicated. And even when I have brought up to people even when I've brought up the idea of maybe do it in a different way, people are like, oh, but it's too complicated to do it that way. And it's like, if it's too complicated, just let trans women compete. You know,
some people just want to hate, and we just gotta laugh at them, I guess.
Yeah, I just noticed a really important question in the chat from Mr. 42 saying, did I hear Dave?
No.
Apparently you didn't, Mr. 42.
Yeah, Dave's clone is in the chat, though. Like, well, how should we refer to you, Dave's clone?
Dave's clone probably works quite well.
All right.
And Mr. 42 says, I did not hear Dave. Okay.
No, Dave's out at the moment. Leave your message after the tone.
Oh, there's not been a tone, so...
If I interrupt, tell me. Tell me. It's a horrible habit of mine, and I'm trying to kick it, and I'm struggling.
Anyway, we need more questions. Like, if I don't have questions... Actually, what I can do real quick is whilst I am waiting for questions... let me go to a thing that I've been doing. I think it's this. So I've been C++ing. This is... It's kind of...
I thought you were E++ing.
Let me...
That was a bad joke, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to... There we go, finally. Okay, now you can see the C++. It's over 1,000 lines of code. I am not used to the C++ programming language.
The C++? Among us.
But anyway, what I can... This code generates triangles and makes the triangles appear on screen. F5 and I'll show you. See? Triangles. 2 beautiful triangles. Except it's actually not just 2 beautiful triangles. It's actually 4. Except it's not actually 4. It's actually 6 triangles and a trench coat. Turns out that triangles are necessary. It's all triangles all the way down. A lot of people don't realize that it's all triangles. Anyway.
I will mute while I'm typing because my keyboard is loud.
Okay. Anyway, that's a thing. And that's done in Vulkan. Anyway, do we have any... we do have a few questions in chat. A bit of a random question, but how many plushies do you have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th one is not right here.
There's an important question from Pete Johnson, which links into something that I was going to ask you as well. He's asked, I've noticed a marked reduction in your content output, especially about Flat Earth. Any particular reason? To which my question is, when are the roadworks stopping?
That is it, yeah. So basically, I've had issues with roadworks. Fortunately, we're not getting them right now, which is a good sign for if I want to record today, but I don't know if I do want to record today. Like, it's very annoying. It's one of those things where some days when I decide, oh, okay, I'm not going to record today, there's no roadworks. And then some days when I decide, okay, let's record today, there are roadworks. The good sign that we do have is that they seem to be moving down the road. I think there's probably a week or 2 left before they finish up. But then it's one of those things where, because they've moved down the road, they might still be doing stuff that might be able to be heard by my mic, which is really, it's really annoying how that works. Maybe I should just focus on shorts or something until the roadworks stop. Anyway. There was an important question. Question from Rachie50. Question, how are you? I am doing alright. One of the things about my life that I would like to stress is that there are good things and there are bad things. Just because I'm trans doesn't mean that all the bad things go away, and just because I'm trans doesn't mean that things have gotten significantly worse. It's something where, sometimes when it comes to, let's say, money, I don't suddenly have no need for money now that I've come out as trans. As good as that would be. Financial issues can still be a thing. That's why it took so long to get my teeth fixed. Getting my teeth fixed was something that, didn't get fixed by coming out as trans. It got fixed by tax returns, Anyway. Can't you just impromptu record on Daisy? Didn't plan to. Actually, the issue that gives... Well, when I say that I don't plan to record on a day, that usually refers to a day that I've decided, okay, I'm going to hang out with someone, and I'm going to be too tired after hanging out to be able to record anything. That's what that means. Anyway, I'm getting a lot of... Don't know if this was already asked, but what's your position on Xenogenders? They're fine. If someone wants to, it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't get the hate for it. If someone says that they identify as tree gender or cat gender, that's fine. Do it. More power to you. I don't really see the issue with it. Anyway, can't record after they knock it off for the day. I try to, but it is one of those things where it is. I have a limited amount of time to record after they knock it off, so that makes it difficult. Perhaps you could use the thing that people use to remove wind from audio for the word works. Not always. Sometimes it is just a very... Sometimes it's like clanging sounds. What advice do you have for being an ally to trans friends or family? Be willing to listen. That's the main thing. If you have a friend or family who is trans and they tell you, hey, you're doing can you use these pronouns or something like that, be open to be able to change your behavior to help them out. So, like for my mum, she to start off with, she wasn't really sure how to use they them as pronouns, but then over time she got more used to using they them as pronouns and started referring to people that used primarily they them pronouns as they them. I think that's one of the biggest things that you can do. Don't and ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. Right, I think that's an important. Thing. If you're not certain about something, ask a question, and be open to learning. I think that's really the main thing. I'm starting to get behind. Dave, have you noticed any comments that I might have missed?
Cool Bug Facts asked, how's the process of changing your legal gender in New Zealand? Is it simple, or do you have to go through hoops, get bottom surgery, etc.?
So the process is actually fairly simple, but can be a little bit daunting. You do have to. You can literally just go to a person, and you've got to have you got to fill out a form, go to a person, and have the right things to be able to get it signed off. You got to have ID, and I think you've got to also send in a photo of your ID. And but I'll keep in mind that I'm speaking from the point of someone who changed both name and gender at the same time legally. But you don't have to get bottom surgery. No, it's something where you can just change it pretty easily. So yeah. Any more?
Dandra Allison says, have you found any hobbies that you were not into beforehand, or found new excitement for any?
When it comes to hobbies, not really. Not that I can think of. But have there been things that have changed about what I've been into? And yes. well, actually, on the hobbies thing, have there been things that have changed that I have been more okay with because I'm not trying to put on some facade of masculinity? Yes, ukulele is one. Ukulele isn't really seen as the most masculine instrument, so that's like something that I've been able to enjoy playing a bit more. But like when it comes to hobbies in particular, I can't really think of any that I've picked up since transitioning. I don't know. Is collecting weird instruments, because I have actually got a new instrument. It's this instrument here. That is an instrument that I had to get when I saw it. But when I talk about things that have changed about me and my particular interests, obviously certain things in my sexuality have changed. I do appreciate muscles a lot more. There's also like most of the changes that come down to attitude, I think, or like interests do come down to like sexuality and stuff. So like, you know, I appreciate muscles a lot more. My neck has become a lot more sensitive. That's mostly it. All right. Have you dealt with transphobic family? Not really. Not explicitly transphobic. There have been people that have said comments that are like a tad inappropriate, but they probably don't view them as being inappropriate or something. I think that's probably the closest it's come. Obviously, there's been like people being transphobic that aren't in my family, but you know, that's yeah. Nebulan says, "Don't miss Rachel's question." What was Rachel's question?
Rachel's question is there any misconception or things you wish people would know or understand about people who are trans?
Yeah, the whole experience, something went wrong. There we go, we're back. Okay, yeah. The big misconception, the thing that I think that people don't realize about being trans is that it's not a... There's a lot, but yeah, it's like not really a choice. It's a choice in so far as in to be happy or to not be happy, right? Like, I have the choice every day to cut my foot off. I'm not going to cut my foot off. And I would be... I don't think it would be good to cut my foot off. But technically, I do have a choice there. When it comes to me wanting my foot, I don't really have a choice in the fact that I want my foot. I don't have a choice in the fact that... in what I want as far as my gender goes. I have a choice to accept what I want as my gender or not. And that is... and I think that's one of those things where people don't really understand I think a lot of people have misconceptions about the concept of choice, in that there's a lot of things that, yeah, technically we do have a choice, but not really. There's also misconceptions I'd say in terms of dysphoria. So when it comes to dysphoria, it's not something that is unique to trans people. Cis people can experience dysphoria as well. It's just not something that is... it's just not something that is that is common in cis people. In fact, I think that it'd be useful for anybody to spend like a spend like a week dressing in feminine clothes, trying to make themselves look pretty, or masculine clothes, whichever one is the opposite of what you'd usually do, and do that for a week and see how you feel. Less than a week if you feel absolutely shit about it, because one of the things that you'll quickly find out is whether you're trans, or whether you get gender euphoria, gender dysphoria, or completely neutral to you. That's one of the things that helped me. So I think I've missed quite a few comments.
I've got quite a few here. Trans Panic, it's not really a question so much, asks, can I just say that it's how amazing how much your face has changed since I found your channel? Question mark. That's not really a question. But... Buddy Brandon GC says, where did you get your headphones?
Oh, I actually got them from JB Hi-Fi. I saw them there, and immediately I grabbed the box and just didn't let go. I did not steal them. I did pay for them, but like, I wasn't going to let go of the box.
Pete Johnson asks a very important question here. Do you think it should be law that when you buy a pair of shoes, a second pair of the original laces should be supplied?
Oh, good question. I think that would... I don't think it should be law, but I think it would be useful to have that. Because... Now, the shoes that I have, actually, the tip of the laces hasn't worn down. The laces are quite durable. If you want to know what my shoes are, these are my shoes here. These have been a really... I mean, they're starting to wear away a bit, but they've been a really good... really good pair of shoes. What else have we got?
What else we got? We got Pedro Franco asks, what tipped you off that you might be trans? Was it something you've known for a long time, or did you find out gradually?
So it was something that I kind of discovered. In a way, it was an accidental discovery, but at the same time, there were definitely signs there that I completely missed for a long time. So the way that I realized was from trying on, like, I started trying on makeup, and I actually really enjoyed that. I then tried on dresses, and I really enjoyed that. And then it's like one of those things where it's like, I think I'm gender fluid, which is obviously a category of being trans. Then later on, I was for a long time, but for a long time I mean about 3 months, I was on the fence about starting HRT, but then eventually I was like, okay, I'm going to, I can at least try it and see if it works for me. And there were also things like when it comes to receding hairline, which was like, that's something that I want to fix. And so I've tried HRT, and yeah, I don't want to get off HRT.
Link to that somewhere. Diego fell asleep asks, wait, what's dysphoria versus dysmorphia? They always get those confused.
Okay, so dysphoria and dysmorphia, I'm not sure if this is the clinical classification, but the way that I understand it is gender dysphoria is if you... Yeah, so the way I understand it is if you've got gender dysphoria, you know what you want to change. Or if you've got dysphoria in general, you know what you want to change about yourself. If you've got dysmorphia, then you don't know... You feel like something is wrong in a place, but you don't know how to fix it. Would be that would be the way that I would classify it, and the way that it's been explained to me. Like, I've got a trans friend who says that he has dysmorphia about his nose, and he, like, it's one of those things where he could get a nose job, but, like, he's not sure how he would want his nose to look. Whereas
the difference that I always thought was that dysphoria is where you know how you actually look and you don't like it. You feel like it doesn't work for you, or like you feel like it's not correct. Whereas dysmorphia is you don't actually see yourself or perceive yourself correctly, or at least you don't perceive yourself the same way that everyone else does.
That could be potentially the case. It's one of those things where, where it can be like hard to, because I know people that have body dysmorphia and like with, well, I've known people who have had body dysmorphia, and it's like I don't know if they're wrong about their own perception, because I can't tell what their perception of themselves is.
Right.
Yeah. And okay. What else? I'm struggling to keep up with chat. What other things do we have? Oh, do we have?
Yeah, you've got a few more in here, but I need to be jumping out, so I'm just going to ask one more from the chat, and then I'm going to head off. So, Cool Bug Facts asks, how have your emotions or the way you experience them change? Or, sorry, how have your emotions or the way you experience them change?
That is a good question. They've changed quite a bit. I have noticed that I can experience emotions quite intensely if I don't take progesterone. In a way, progesterone kind of acts as a mood stabilizer. And it's like, because, you know, I can have I can have a bit of a breakdown if I forget to take my progesterone. Not good, but it also acts like on other things where, like, something that I wouldn't have normally experienced as intensely, it's like, okay, this emotion here is being experienced intensely, and it doesn't, and like, just because I'm taking progesterone doesn't mean that I don't experience intense emotions. And I do think that, like, I've unlocked new emotions. I'll actually get into that. But yeah, I think that I do think that I have a bit more control over my emotions if I take progesterone. Whereas if I don't, they're just whatever that my emotions happen to be that day. When it comes to new emotions that I've experienced, yeah, actually, I need to also mention that when it comes to the emotions that are general, that does feel like there has been a weight lifted off. Like, I didn't realize I was feeling kind of anxious all the time being on testosterone. And when I say being on testosterone, like having my regular testosterone levels, but now that they've been lowered, it's just like, it's just a lot better. I don't know. It's like I don't have this weight on my shoulders anymore. But anyway, new emotion. Yeah, I recently experienced a new emotion where it's like I felt really safe and comfortable and respected, and it was in a way that I hadn't experienced before, and it was I don't know how to explain it. It was something completely new. Yeah. Anyway, one of the things I'm going to mention is if Diego. I just noticed someone sent me a message. So I'm just going to send a message back. So yeah, Diego, if you want to hop in stream, you just have to hop in like the dining room, and then I'll drag you in, and you can be the question searcher person. So yeah, I'm just going to. There we go. Send a message to a person.
Right, and I'm gonna duck out, everyone. So
Quack.
thanks for having Planet Walk, and I'll hopefully catch you soon when the roadworks bugger off.
Hopefully. It'd be nice to have you on stream again sometime, because I'm trying to do a bit more of these.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll have to see how I'm getting on with everything, but yeah, I'll certainly try to get in when I can.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
All right. See ya.
Bye bye. And welcome.
Hello.
Oh wow, you are loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you turn me down, or do I need to do something?
I turned you down to 90%.
Okay.
It should be good.
Cool. I think my Discord crashed literally right when you brought me into the call, which is fun. But
oh wow.
Yeah. Okay. I actually first of all, congrats on it's 1 year, right? The title doesn't load for me. I don't know why. I have the new YouTube layout, and like all I can see is the stream and the chat. There's no recommended videos, no description, no title, no nothing. But yeah, congrats. I was gonna say I'll help you out with the questions and stuff. I'll keep track of some, but I actually had a question myself that I wanted to ask.
Okay.
If that's all right. Because, I guess people probably don't know who I am, but I live in Texas, and there's not, at least in the specific city that I live in, there's not that many trans people. I think I've only ever met like really one. And you're the only like, trans friend that I have, and I don't think we've ever talked about this. So the thing I was gonna ask was essentially like, what do you think would happen if we got to a point where like gender norms weren't necessarily so strict, and it became more acceptable for like men and women to act and dress and express themselves kind of like however they want, without like necessarily being labeled like, oh, that's a man thing, that's a man way to dress, or that's a woman way to act, that's a woman way to dress. And do you think that would, like, how do you think that would affect trans people, or the number of trans people there are, or do you think it wouldn't have any kind of change at all? Or
Yeah, that's a good question, because when it comes to trans stuff, there is definitely a sense of, definitely part of it is to do with clothings. Because my hypothesis for this is that we associate certain things, like we associate skirts, for example, with women. We associate, like suits with men. And I think that there is a component of that where that kind of stuff does allow some trans people to more easily work out what gender they more closely identify with. However, I do think that there are other aspects of gender and sex that can cause people to want to change them. So, for example, if someone has boobs, they might not want them, and they might want either a breast reduction or to get a mastectomy. I think that there will always be people that will have that. I think that it'll be harder to catch. I think that without gender norms, it would probably be harder to catch people that that experience more gender, that might experience more gender euphoria. But then there would be also less stigma on people that might want to transition because they get dysphoria from secondary sex characteristics, for example. So it's a complicated question, and I'm not entirely sure of the answer to it.
Okay.
I would like to give my 2 cents, since my dad is in Texas, and everything my dad has done around me as a child has given Texas a bad name in my book. Like, I love my dad, but I don't want to be alone in a room with him anymore. Like, I try having conversations with him about my lack of gender, and it's just like I'm speaking Latin with him. He just doesn't understand what's going on. And I wish he would understand, but sometimes I try to bring it up and he either shuts me down or changes the subject or just leaves. But he doesn't grant me that same luxury. If I am stuck in the same area as him and I want to leave a conversation, I am not allowed to. He will follow me. I could barricade a door and he would bust his way in just to tell me I'm wrong about something.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Sounds like the internet in a nutshell, where people are like because actually this is something that I don't know if I touched on it in my video, but like a lot of people, they expect you to have the certain conversations. I know that because I'm trans, like some people expect me to apologize on behalf of the trans community for some slight that a trans person did, or something like that. And it's like, no, that's if the person that you're talking about actually did something wrong, then it's them that has to apologize. I'm not that person, and we are not one blob of gender, even though some of us are a gendery blob.
I want to say I don't live with him currently. I did visit him for the solar eclipse since we needed housing. My partner and I didn't reserve a hotel far enough in advance and couldn't get one, or at least not one we could afford. So we stayed there one night. First thing in the morning, he brings up the one traumatic thing that happened 2 years prior to the last time we met. I was willing to let it go, because the previous time it happened, I had been gaslit and guilt-tripped into apologizing for something he did.
Oh, damn.
So, I'm not gonna go completely into it. I don't want to trauma dump on your stream. Not my place to. I am just gonna say, I'll give one example of why I don't trust Texas. And if I ever have to cross the country again, I am going around the damn state. When I was a kid, I think 5 or 6 years old, my dad had hired a babysitter. And I had talked with my mom over the phone because, my parents were divorced by that time. And I told my mom over the phone that my little brother, the babysitter was spanking him with a hairbrush. And she felt that was excessive. So she called Child Protective Services to do a wellness check. And apparently, that babysitter had been burning other children with cigarettes and beating her own kids.
Oh, jeez.
Physically. So I didn't get the worst of it, but apparently she blamed one of the injuries on me, and Dad still believes it. And he wasn't mad that, she had put us, my brother and I, in that position. He was mad that he had to find a new babysitter.
Jeez.
So I don't even know what to think at this point. I know my dad's a good guy. I know that he cares. But oh my god, has he made mistakes?
Yeah.
And there are many cases where he refuses to admit it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna try and raise the...
Sorry, yeah. Sorry.
Diego, do you have any questions that I've missed?
Yeah, I do. Just real quick, I wanted to respond because 2 people were saying... Someone said, Diego, it's not that there are so many trans people, it's just probably because of the anti-trans politicians. And someone else said, Texas is very anti-trans, right? This is just a little bit of a tangent because anytime that you mention Texas on the internet, people assume that it's all a certain way. I'll say that you take any state in the US, and chances are the big cities are all very liberal and the rural areas are all super conservative. That's going to be true no matter where you are in the entire country. I think southern states just get a bad rap because they're run by lunatics who are very corrupt and hold the power. But anyways, so kind of going off on somewhat related to that. Somewhat related to that, J33721 asked, this may or may not be an interesting question, but have your opinions on transphobes or transphobia changed in any way since being out? Kind of I guess going off of the topic of family members that you don't necessarily agree with, but you can kind of see, you know that they're not bad people. They just have bad takes.
Yeah, I have noticed that a lot of them seem more radicalized. There's one transphobe who I know on Twitter, Steve McRae, and maybe someday I'll debate him on my channel. I've debated him on his channel, but one of the things is they kind of do this thing sometimes where it's find something transphobic that I've said, and it's one of those things where it's not so much the things... Sometimes it's not so much the things that they say, but it's sometimes the things that they do which show them to be a transphobe. If I'm... now, with Steve McRae, I can always... I've got, the receipts to be hey, this is transphobic. But when it comes to like, let's say someone who just comments constantly on trans stuff and like it's 99% of the time in a negative light, like that's transphobic. And I feel like I don't think he was like this like a few years back. I think that he was generally more trans positive, maybe not like explicitly, but he had opinions that I could at least go, that's a fine opinion. And I think a lot of people who are transphobic have been radicalized, like J.K. Rowling has definitely been radicalized. I don't think there are some people which I wouldn't say have been radicalized, like Matt Walsh. I think he's just always been radical. But like people like J.K. Rowling, their opinions are getting worse, and I feel like that's what makes it feel like things are shifting against trans people, is the fact that the rhetoric from transphobes is getting worse and more extreme.
Yeah, I think someone put it well when they said, like, you know, maybe 10, 15 years ago, or I mean, even going as far back as like the 80s, you know, it was like gay people that they were always targeting and saying like, oh, your kids and all this stuff. And there's still a bit of that around, but I feel like they keep constantly shifting and finding like new people to target. So now it's like it's trans people, and you know, maybe in a decade or two it'll be someone else. But I guess
Yes.
again, kind of going off the topic. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the next target will be either asexual people or polyamorous people. There's even already push, like I think with asexual people, they are to an extent benign enough to most people that they won't get focused on. However, I do think that when it comes to like incel movements, they will primarily target asexual people. Whereas in general, the sort of disgust that people have towards trans people and gay people will shift towards polyamorous people. And we already see that. We already see people targeting polyamorous people saying, oh, this is disgusting. Why would you ever let people do that? And also, like, to an extent, I think that the incel community also pushes against polyamory because they think that it means that that only the they think that it's like some kind of promiscuity that means that 20% of the guys will get 80% of the women or something. And
I see.
Yeah, it's
it's a problem with self-reflection. Honestly, they are so keen on blaming someone else for the inability to find a loving partner that they forget to realize, hey, maybe my actions have something to do with the fact that people don't like me. And that is something that a lot of people struggle with. It's like a surprising amount of people don't realize that their behavior can affect the way other people see them. For me, nobody even taught me that. I had to learn from like therapy videos on the internet, on YouTube, to understand, oh, so this is what people think. Oh, maybe I should get better. So my parents didn't teach me that. They didn't teach me that in school. I had to learn how to pass as normal using the internet.
Yeah, I definitely I think that like I probably have something like either ADHD or autism, potentially the latter or both. And I feel like a lot of the things that I wasn't told about in school because it was just assumed that most people would just know to do that. And it's like, apparently you've got to keep eye contact with people. I wasn't taught that. You know?
Yeah.
And like I can make and maintain eye contact if I focus on it.
But if I'm focusing on the eye contact, then I can't focus on the conversation.
Yeah, then you miss. Sorry, what did you say? I was too busy trying to not break eye contact.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, do we have more questions?
Yeah, I guess going off of what you were talking about a second ago with sort of like the rhetoric around this, I feel like a lot of the times they always frame it under the disguise of like, oh, adults could do whatever they want, but not the kids, right? So Raichi and a bunch of Zero asked, touching controversial for some, but what is your thoughts on teaching kids about being trans? Do you think that it's as helpful and helps them understand and respect trans people, or that it could confuse them?
I think that a lot of people don't give kids credit for what they're able to understand. Like, I think as you are young, your mind is a lot more malleable and able to, and you're able to adapt to new things. Whereas when you become older, you then find that you get set in your ways. And I think a lot of people take themselves being set in their ways as a reason to why they think that kids would be confused. Kids aren't going to be confused unless they're rigorously taught that things are a certain way. And so I think that teaching kids about trans people, it's not that difficult to understand trans people exist. That people that fit out, that people that are outside of, even like people outside of gender conventions exist. And I think teaching it is more helpful because sometimes you, as a kid, you don't have the words to describe things that you are feeling. So I think that at the end of the day, the idea that you're going to confuse kids comes down to adults that are stuck in their ways being more confused and not fully understanding it. And I also, another point is that kids sometimes work out their gender identity by the age of 4 and realize that there's a mismatch there. So, and the adults don't always understand that.
It's like...
so go ahead.
There's like... Oh, sorry. I don't know who I'm interrupting right now. I don't know what's going on. I did post a comic in the open chat and stream, like in the voice chat we're in.
Yeah.
It looks kind of blurry, but you could probably open it in browser. It's basically someone made a comic that perfectly describes the experience I went through when I was younger before I knew I was autistic. So it's just such a good representation. And honestly, when I was in high school, I, for a short while, literally thought everyone was psychic but me. Because I could not figure out how other people were naturally picking up on social norms that I had never heard of, never been taught. Because people expected me to just figure it out. I wasn't figuring it out. My neurotype was different from everyone else.
Yeah, like, I had a hard time understanding, like, certain humor things, like, back in intermediate school. And, like, I was wanting to be funny, but no one found me funny.
Yeah, and the rare occasions where someone actually found my joke funny, they said it louder than me, and everyone laughed at them instead of me. And that was the filthiest feeling. It's like, people actually liked what I said for once, but they only liked it because someone else said it, and I just felt like I was cursed for my entire childhood.
Anyway, any more questions?
Levy Time asks, have you heard of transmaxing? I don't know what that is.
I think I'm like I have heard of looks maxing, I think it is, and if transmaxing is anything like that, I would assume that it's like getting on as much estrogen as possible, and or for a trans femme being on as much estrogen as possible, or and like doing all the things to
you're speed running.
Yeah, basically speed running trans.
Jeez.
Apparently it's not that. I just saw in chat. Because I know that looks maxing is like where you I think it's looks maxing is the thing that I'm thinking of.
The arbitrary to the extreme?
Yeah.
If you want to explain it in the chat, I'll try to catch it. But while that happens, Geoduck also asks, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Hold on, let me. So, what type of wood are we talking about here? Because there's different types of wood. Like, if we're talking about like wet wood, then it's going to be significantly lower than if we're talking about dry wood.
Also, what about like sequoia? Like, What is the size of the wood?
Well, I'm assuming
wood is
that
so
we're just
arbitrary.
I'm
Sorry?
Saying wood is so arbitrary. Like, what does just wood mean? That could be anything. We need more parameters. But that being said, Jay does say that the answer is 42.
Okay.
What if wood has not? What if the wood they're referring to has nothing to do with trees?
Okay.
Also, Ava says it's basically incel behavior, transitioning simply because they think being a woman in society is more advantageous.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like there are benefits to being perceived as a woman.
Uh-huh.
But then there are also downsides as well, like if you don't mind creepy guys hitting on you, like, yeah, sure, fine, but like that is one of the downsides of being perceived as a woman. But when you're trans, it's even worse because those creepy guys that hit on you, like, you don't know what they're gonna say if you tell them that you're trans.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like other things, like as I mentioned in the video, you do have to keep an eye out for like problems that can occur due to being on hormones. Like, I have gotten two problems from being on hormones, switching from spironolactone to cyproterone. That helped with one of them. Also, laxatives helped with that. But then there was also like the atrophy thing that I mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
where it is a issue that you can run into, but you can take steps to avoid it. But then you've also got low libido, so it makes it hard to have the motivation to avoid it.
Mm.
My brain went off on a complete tangent. I'm sorry.
And Nebulan says the whole better in the woods thing is about women not being treated equal. Exactly. Like the creepy. I don't like the creepy guys. You know.
Yeah.
And you can tell when guys are being creepy. That like that's something that you can just tell. But like it and it's also like, how do you tell them to fuck off? You know, you can tell them to fuck off, but what if they get violent, kind of thing.
Can I just say, I think a lot of this is rooted in, especially in the US, the society's weird obsession with reproduction. Like, whenever a conservative complains about a trans person, it's always, oh, they won't be able to reproduce. If everyone becomes trans, then the human race will die out. It's like, well, for one, there's adoption. Two, some people don't medically transition. Some people just socially transition, and they're good with that. In my case, I don't want to have biological children. I'm fine with adopting eventually, but when I told that to my mother, she got incredibly offended and said that she would not support my wedding if I was not going to have children.
Oh, damn.
It was so weird, and I've been thinking about it. I've been just like ruminating on what happened there and like how frequent it is in society for people to be obsessed with creating more children. And I think the issue is not that they actually want grandchildren, it's that they felt obligated to have children by their parents, and now they're forcing that sense of obligation onto their kids as a form of like resentment. So like, I had to have kids and I hated it and I resent the kids, so now I'm gonna make them have kids so they know what they put me through. And that is incredibly toxic, but I think that's the core of it.
Anyway, we do have what's that?
I was gonna say, like Pedro just said right now, it also has to do with religious values and
yeah, that is true. Yeah. But we do have a lot of questions that I think I've missed. Like the one that
I'm writing some down, but
like
go ahead. If
the
you
one that
want
I do want to respond to. By atrophy, do you mean erectile dysfunction? No, actually. So it can lead to erectile dysfunction, and I have noticed that it's a little bit harder to keep it up. However, erectile dysfunction is, well, at least I view it as being different, because atrophy is a combination of two things. It's basically or combination of a couple of things. But like some of the main ones is it gets smaller, it loses size, and it also starts to hurt. when it does get hard. So it's like, you want to... That's like the main thing that I didn't like, and it's like... It's annoying. So you got to kind of, as people say, use it or lose it. Anyway,
the way I see it, as someone who was a genetics major before I ran out of college fund, everyone has a blueprint when they're born that determines everything that their body will grow into eventually, and the hormones that they get are based on the blueprint. But you can override that blueprint by adding more hormones. It's like if your blueprint says, oh yeah, you're going to have a beach cabana, but you give all the resources to build like a library, the library is probably going to be the thing that starts being built, even though your blueprint says beach cabana.
Yeah. Anyway, Diego, what's some more questions?
So GeoDuck had sent that a friend of theirs had sent them a video on transmaxing, and that they were probably going to send it later. I was just going to say, it feels like one of those things where, you know how people say that, like, oh, everyone's just transitioning it because it's a trend? That feels like such an extreme thing to do just to chase a trend, because it alters your entire life a lot.
Yeah. I would say that to some extent you don't even have to medically transition to be trans. Like, I feel like
I see.
Like there is so much of this kind of hate for trans people, saying, oh, it ruins people's lives. And it's like, that's only if you medically transition. I'm in full support of like non-binary people not being forced into anything medical.
It's not even just that. Like, if a medical transition goes well, not much is really ruined. You can still bounce back from that. Even if it does go slightly wrong, most of the time people survive. It's very rare cases where it ever goes that level of wrong. And it probably wouldn't go that wrong if all the data on that weren't burned back in the 1940s. Anyway,
yeah. But like,
aside from that, we would be fine if people wouldn't harass us for our existence.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where I feel like if the people that complain about it, if they are right about any part, they're taking the wrong actions to be able to they're taking the actions that are antithetical to what is best for their position. So, like, if you say, okay, well, if you agree that we need to be careful about who takes hormones, right? Then, okay, well, if they're also against non-binary people, so being against non-binary people is antithetical to what they're saying, because non-binary people don't... Some non-binary people take hormones, like myself, but like not all non-binary people do. So being against non-binary people, it's kind of, you're forcing them into choosing one gender or the other, and if they choose the other one, then they're going to probably want to take hormones. It's, I don't know, it just feels like they're wrong, and they're wrong. Even if they're right, they would be wrong.
It's clearly just a veil that they say, that they just use whatever defense happens to fit that specific argument, but they're super inconsistent.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to get back, we have a short one here from Zenith. How long did it take for me to make you want to play Magic the Gathering?
Okay, I saw that one earlier.
I got back into MTG recently. I got into Diamond Rank and Magic the Gathering Arena, and then I tried to reinstall it on my phone because I uninstalled it for a couple of days. I'm like, oh, I'm addicted to any stuff. And then I wanted to show a friend a cool thing because, like, Diamond Rank is pretty crazy. I tried to reinstall it, literally would not install. Tried uninstalling and reinstalling like 3 times, could not load the game up. So it's no more Arena for me, I guess.
It's a sign.
I don't mind Terra. Yeah, it's a sign. Maybe I should let go of my Magic the Gathering addiction.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. I have some serious questions.
I did want to actually respond to that.
Go for it.
Because I was laughing because, like, I remember seeing that question, and my first thought was, it wasn't the estrogen that came first. It was the Magic the Gathering. Like 10 years? Hold on. How?
Damn.
At least 15 years ago.
Jeez.
As I said, there have been signs that I have completely missed.
Also, sorry, I didn't bring this up when you had mentioned it, but I heard that you changed your name. What's your name now?
Okay.
If you're okay with sharing it on stream, what
I say to people is I'm kind of iffy about mentioning this because I have a name. I'm using I go by Nikki, but sometimes what's that?
I just said okay.
Yeah, I'll just say that I go by Nikki. That's easier, and I'll mention to you later about something. Yeah. But yeah,
Somebody
like
said, "Wait, is..." Go ahead.
So I know that some people used to know me as Nick. I do not go by that anymore. I go by Nikki. That is the name that if you want to try and be personal, you use Nikki.
Don't Streisand affect yourself, okay?
Yeah.
Just like don't Streisand affect your dead name, please.
Yeah. All right.
Somebody had asked, "Is Magic the Gathering a trans egg sign?"
Probably.
To some extent, maybe, but like also, I think that
it has to do more with autism, I think, because I'm on the spectrum. Nikki's on the spectrum, probably.
But like, it is fun to joke about things that are stereotypically like something that a trans person will do and say, "Oh, if you play Magic the Gathering, then you're trans." I didn't
even know this. I hadn't heard of this until now. Okay, I'm gonna circle back around to some of the older ones because I've been keeping a list.
I feel like we've missed quite a few.
15 minutes ago, Cool Bug Facts asked if there is any movies or shows that you think depict the trans experience or trans characters at least in a good way. That you can think of.
Oh, that is a hard one because like I haven't really seen many that have trans characters. Like it's like there's like in the Barbie movie there was I think that the trans woman playing a character in that was like pretty well done because like they weren't brought up as it wasn't said in the movie that this character is trans or anything. And it was that character was played by a trans actor. I think that was really well done because a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're shoving it down our faces," and
they literally did it.
And it's like, they're not shoving it down their faces because it was just this character happened to be played by a trans woman, but no mention of the gender was ever made.
Yeah. I guess just the idea of seeing a trans person on the screen is too much for these people. Yeah, I think
definitely.
like Ellie had mentioned earlier, conservatives be like, "Don't transition. Your life will be so much worse because of the way that I'm going to treat you."
Yeah,
I think part of transphobia is also rooted in homophobia, especially in the anime community. Unfortunately, remember when people would argue about whether or not femboys make you gay?
Oh yeah,
think if that actually, to the people who it didn't matter to, they're probably a lot less transphobic. To the people it did matter to, it's like, "Oh, how dare I am not homosexual," and they're just panicking. And I guess they resent trans people over these animated fictional characters.
Well, there was the whole thing I remember quite a few years back. R-Trap's gay. That whole discourse, and it's like,
it doesn't matter.
My position is no, it's not, because like if you see someone who you're attracted to, and they just so happen to have the same genitalia as you, but they present as the opposite gender, you're not going around looking at people's genitals first.
Right.
I agree, but also it doesn't matter because love is love, and whatever two consenting adults do in privacy of their own home is between them. We shouldn't judge.
That's true. That is true. What other questions are there?
So from Jay, we have, I don't know, this is framed as a question, but it's more of a statement. It's like, here's a question that I'm not sure anyone can answer. Why the fuck do so many people care about what others do in their own damn bodies? It baffles me. It's kind of what you were just saying right now.
I actually do have something to say about that, because like a lot of people, some people do use that as kind of a, why do you talk about this, right? And I think that it's important to let people know that there are people like themselves. Like, if someone has the same things, like, if someone has the same experiences as me, letting them know that I exist can help them with whatever they decide to do with that experience. It's one of those things where people do worry too much about it. Like, people are like, oh, but what if you ruin your body? And it's like, I don't think that's something that a lot of people are asking in good faith, and they're worrying about it from a place of bad faith. But when you are wanting to know more, genuinely know more about something, then it can be quite helpful.
What I want to say in response to what Orion commented about, your cousin, revealing that, they're most likely an egg. I want to say it's not just when it comes to being trans. There are so many cases where someone is in denial and they want something illegalized because they're worried that if it's illegalized, then everyone would do it. And they don't really know why it's wrong, but they've been told it's wrong for so long that they just agree with it. So with autism, for example, I am autistic, and I inherited it from my mom's side very clearly, because my mom shares a lot of the same symptoms I do, and so does my brother, and he is also in denial. I texted my mom. I put the image in the memes channel on your server, so if anyone wants to see it, join Play to Walk server. Anyway.
Actually, I have something to show for after you.
Okay. What I'm saying is that my mom had that same moment where she's like, oh yeah, everyone feels that way. I'm like, Mom, this comic was written specifically about people on the autism spectrum who feel like everyone is psychic with them. And I literally went through that for most of my life. And she's like, oh yeah, everyone feels that. Yeah. And I'm like, Mom, not everyone feels that. In fact, autistic people rarely ever feel that.
Yeah. Yeah. That is something that I feel like I've heard of people that are like, everyone likes women, but like,
that too.
Yeah, like from someone who is a woman, and it's like, you are just a lesbian that doesn't realize,
Yeah.
It's like, if women could marry women, then people just wouldn't have kids anymore because all the women would marry each other.
Like, what are you trying to say? Are you saying you would marry a woman?
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind, but I'm in a monogamous relationship with someone I care about very deeply, so that's not changing.
Yeah, I don't get attraction to masculine men. I have made out with a man that had a beard, and if I didn't mind the beard, it would have been nice, but I did mind the beard, and it was not that great. So it is one of those things where, but there are people that are attracted to that. There are people that like that, and it's like, I'm not one to judge, But anyway, I did want to shill something because something that I am planning on doing, and hell, I might even do a poll to see what the first song should be. I'm thinking of having if you are signed up for members, if you're signed up for memberships, I will do covers that are membership only. That way it doesn't detract from regular videos or anything. And
it's just like a bonus.
Yeah, just like a bonus, and they'd be really easy to record because there's a bunch of songs that I know. Anyway, I have a few ideas for the first song, so I'm gonna do a poll. So let me start a poll, and whilst I'm whilst I'm starting the poll, you can ask me a question.
Yep. 1 second.
I know I said I was supposed to kick my Magic the Gathering addiction, but if I get it on Tabletop Simulator, would you play it with me?
Maybe.
It never ends.
I generally play I generally play over the table with cards that I have. I don't know.
I found a program for Magic the Gathering. It's called Forge, which I got confused by because Curse Forge is for Minecraft mods, but Forge is for Magic the Gathering deck making and like deck testing. So I could probably copy and paste a deck from that into Tabletop Simulator, and then we could probably just play with that.
Okay.
But yeah, let me see. Going back again, these were from a little bit ago, but we have one from Raichi. Thoughts about people who bring up the whole toilet issue / which one to use and all of that.
It's one of those things.
Universal pooping stations.
It's one of those things where like so my thoughts on that would have to be that I feel like it's been the worries that a lot of people have. Like, sure, sometimes you might see someone in the toilets that may make you uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable by going to the men's toilets. So I use the women's toilets. I'm not there to do anything. I'm not there to do anything bad. I am there to just go pee. That is all. That's what most trans people will be going to the... most, if not all trans people will be going to the toilets to just do the business that you do in toilets. And most trans people will scurry in and scurry out as fast as possible because they do not want to be registered as existing in toilets.
Perceived, yeah.
Yeah, they do not want to be perceived.
I think Nebulan said unisex toilets, why do we have to have separate? That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, like, I think that, okay, here's a really, really good insight. So, the men's toilet, right? There is urinals, I don't get them. They're not...
Me neither, honestly. Just get rid of them.
They are not space efficient. Because of the simple fact is for 2 people, you need at least 3 urinals.
As opposed to like certain stadiums where their urinal is basically just a trough for peeing in.
Yeah. If you want 3 people to be able to pee in urinals, you need 5 Yeah. If not more, because some people will try to, you need somewhere between 5 and 7. Because guys are really insecure about peeing next to other guys. They are not space efficient. Just use single cubicle toilets. It'll be a lot better. And it'll be more space efficient just to have a single cubicle toilet. Anyway, whilst you're reading out the next question, I'm going to type in.
I was just gonna say, Pedro kind of responded to that saying, last time I advocated for unisex toilets at the hospital, they said that we'd see rape and harassment and knife crimes and all sorts of bad stuff. The thing that and I'm not the first person to say this, but it's
how does that happen on airplanes? Because airplanes only have unisex toilets.
That's true. There's a lot of places that already have that. And the other thing that I'm saying is that, like, if there's someone that's like a rapist or a knife murderer,
they're gonna get arrested.
Sign is not gonna stop them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what do we have here? First members cover.
Yeah. So obviously, 2 of them are by the same person, but
I was gonna say though, something I had commented earlier, ancient Rome had social toilets. Like, it was just a big room with a bunch of holes and a seat. It was like a long bench with holes in it for pooping in. The leather worker would just come and collect people's piss. Anyway, talking to your pooping neighbor was normal in ancient Rome. Nobody cared what genitals you had. People of all genders were in the same toilet.
They got by.
That's one of the few traditions I respect. People would have philosophical discussions while taking a shit. I respect that. When in Rome, do it for Romans.
That is literally what I do. I have if I'm on the toilet, I'm going to be having philosophical discussions on Twitter. That's about as philosophical
It's like
as
in some ways, nothing's changed.
That tradition has not died. We've just given it a new form.
Exactly.
There's a reason I call Twitter the shitter now.
Exactly.
Spelled Xiter, but pronounced shitter.
Also, I think it's a landslide win for Space Oddity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who can beat David Bowie, honestly?
Yeah. Hopefully I don't ruin it, because I do like to do like a Bowie voice in that song. But like, I feel like if I were to mention the name of Laplace's Angel, a few more people would. The other name of Laplace's Angel, a few people might vote for it because like it has an alternate name called God Save Jordan Peterson.
Oh.
I was so confused that I burped my what out.
It's just like a funny thing that the person who made the song decided to say. Like he said, this song is called God Save Jordan Peterson. But I can kind of get it. It does have that kind of fight. You have heard that song, Gooey Duck Gooey Science. I've played it to you like before, and I've shown you the song. Anyway, I feel like we are severely behind on the questions.
Well, people are just chatting. We're not too behind, honestly. I was looking into this comment that I don't know how to pronounce her name. Jessica made that.
Jessica.
Apparently, the UK government passed. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm stupid. It's like when you have to name your D&D character and you just add like apostrophes and stuff. You know what I mean, to make it look more fantasy. But yeah, apparently the UK government passed a law preventing trans people from using hospital wards of their gender identity. If that's true, that's really fun.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I get that like some people get uncomfortable by like I get that some people get uncomfortable by the idea of a man might say that they're a woman to get access to the women's wards, but it's like I feel like that is going to not happen too much. Like if you're in the hospital, like the damn hospital, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're in there for a reason, you know. I don't think you're going to be like, well, take me to the women's ward whilst I have have like things going wrong with my stomach. You know, I don't know. It feels like really ridiculous. You know.
Yeah. No, I can say that.
Yeah. Also, Gooey Duck Gooey Science asked, when did it talk about Jordan Peterson? It talked about Jordan Peterson at the start of a live version where he says, "This song is." I can probably play like a few seconds without getting copyright struck. So let's go YouTube.
They really still do full-on strikes. That's crazy.
Well, it's claimed, but like, easier to say copyright struck.
Right.
So we're gonna go.
You've been struck by copyright.
We're gonna go Laplace's Angel live, and we're just going to hopefully.
This song is called "God Save Jordan Peterson."
The day I stopped caring what people thought of me was the day I suddenly got a lot funnier, and I don't understand why.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
I think I just have old person syndrome. Like, I'm turning 26 this month, but I feel ancient. I have
I'm 27, and like there is a song that says there is a song that I relate to where it says I just turned 27 and I'm dying of old age. I relate to that like it is so relatable.
Yeah, the amount of stress that was placed on us when we were children was enough to make us age like twice as fast as the average human.
Yeah.
By the way, real quick, Rachel just said, I think it has to be less than 10 seconds. I know for a fact that that's not true, because one time I played a Discord soundboard on a stream that I posted later, and those can only be 5 seconds. and the stream still got claimed.
Oh damn!
So
It depends. I
Yeah.
think it depends on like a few things. Like it depends like how gung ho they are about something. Like sometimes they can be like, oh, if you use any seconds, and I feel like that's like fair use is a thing that needs to be respected.
yeah, it sucks, but I mean, that's
I
the thing.
did just notice a comment in the question in the chat. What has been the most unexpected HRT change? Is there anything major you feel people never mention about HRT? The most unexpected thing, honestly, has to do with my neck. My neck has become a lot more sensitive.
Really?
Like it is something where, and when I say sensitive, it's like, it's not exactly like it's not like if you like go like that, I'm gonna go ow. It's more like if something is touching my neck in a certain way, then it feels really nice. That kind of sensitivity.
Okay. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's something where, like, I get why people like having, like getting hickeys and stuff. Like, fun fact, I know that the people that are currently on the call can't see it, but like anyone on stream can probably see what I'm talking about. Because yeah, that is a thing that has happened.
Rogers next zone said turtle moves.
Yeah. That's basically what it is.
The whole chat just evolved into people talking about their age. Shakes Kane at 43. Damn, I'm 32. Wait till you turn 50. I'm 53.
Yeah, I feel old at like 27, and it's like, at least I have years ahead of me. Is like a good that's a good thing, but like, it still feels like I think part of it is the fact that I feel like I should be further ahead in life than what I am.
Everybody feels like that. I also feel like that. It's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that you see all these freaking like people on TikTok that are like 19 and
Oh yeah, like
have their everything together.
That's why I don't
but,
watch.
You know.
That's why I don't watch TikTok. In fact, as a slight tangent, I despise TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, because like so the way that it serves content is basically a way. It's not the most optimal way to serve someone content, unless you're trying to keep them watching, trying to get them addicted. It's you don't get the best content from TikTok's algorithm. You get the content that keeps you watching TikTok as a platform the most. YouTube's homepage is a lot better because you can basically select a video and you at least have an idea of what you're getting into when you select it. TikTok, you scroll up and the video, you have no idea what it's going to be. But when you get a good video, the dopamine hits higher than what you get with YouTube. And so
you might not have clicked it otherwise.
Yeah. So the idea is that with TikTok, it's like it's basically activating the same things that gambling does to get you addicted to TikTok, whereas YouTube is doing the same things with Shorts, but whereas with YouTube's front homepage, it's one of those things where you have more variety at your fingertips to choose, so it's more. You don't have that roulette kind of thing. So the idea is the idea that I think it comes down to is like it's basically like if I gave you a bunch, if I gave you a thing every day, like let's say I gave you $100 every day, right?
Are you offering?
No, I'm not offering. I'm not. But like if I gave like, or if someone gave me $100 every day, that would be nice.
Okay.
But like, if someone gives if you were to get money every day, then that'd be fine. But you know, it would be more, which would give a more higher dopamine reaction, is if someone had a 50-50 chance of, or let's say a 1 in 10 chance of giving you 1 in 10 chance of giving you $700 in a day. Every day, you had a 1 in 7 chance of getting 700. A 1 in 10 chance of getting.
And it would
700.
theoretically be less money on average.
Yeah, but
because it would only get 700 every. Yeah.
Yeah, but you would get a higher.
It's the
dopamine.
chance of not knowing. Yeah, you're right though. You're right. I never thought about it like that. You're so right.
Yeah. Huh. So basically, you're worse off with the addictive way. You're worse off, but you get addicted to that. Mm-hmm. Gambling is basically you put more money in than you get out, but the dopamine that you get from that is what gets people addicted. Yeah, like it's exactly gambling, because gambling, you put in money. You could keep that money, and you would do better. In fact, you'd be more financially stable if you kept that money.
Yep.
But do you get the dopamine?
It's the chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to I was a defender of TikTok not that long ago. I was never really addicted to it. I would just go on it for fun every now and then, but I recently just stopped using it just because I wanted to see it. Like I was like, will I really miss it? And then I didn't. And then just in time too, because it apparently is going to get banned maybe if they don't sell over here. So
yeah, I will defend TikTok when it comes to the whole idea of what the US government is doing. I will defend it in that sense, but I will not defend their algorithm. I think their algorithm is one of those things that just makes things worse. It's the I should probably make a video about how I've seen some videos about enshittification, but I think the thing is that I don't think I've seen this in a video, is that things are made worse because it is better for the company to make it worse.
See.
So if I make an app that video games are a good example of this. Like what has become more and more common in video games, and that is microtransactions.
Yep.
So if they put more and more microtransactions into a video game, then and loot boxes especially, then people will spend more on that video game, and it's not good for the people that play the video game, but it does get more money for the company, and it's one of those things where the game is worse off for it, but the company makes more money, and that's the whole thing when it comes to things getting worse, I think.
Yeah, gambling loot boxes, someone mentioned, all that.
Yeah.
Just real quick, Jessica asked, I missed that, what is the American government doing with TikTok? They're banning it because even though it's not owned by a Chinese person, it is like a subsidiary of a Chinese company, and they say that theoretically if the Chinese government were to ask for people's information from the company, they could get it, which is technically true. But that's also true of Instagram with the American government and Facebook and Twitter. So, I mean, yeah. Anyways, just to add on to that real quick, because Orion had mentioned banning gambling won't stop it. It'll just drive it into more shady areas, like with criminals. I have to slightly disagree, because I think with things like gambling, the exposure to it is what gets a lot of people into it, especially with the stuff that you would see on Twitch with all these gambling streams and whatnot. Especially if people are exposed to it from a really young age. So I see what you're saying, but I do think that banning it would go a long way to helping towards not leading people down that path.
Yeah.
Also, you just got a donation. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah. Rosyna Ripsnick says, just spent $120 USD on microtransactions today.
Jeez.
That is a lot. I would never. Like there is a game that I've been playing recently that does have microtransactions in it, and I have not spent a single dime on microtransactions in that game. It is called Ever Crisis.
Oh, Ever Crisis, no. I thought they were gonna shut that game down.
No, it's like they haven't even got like the fourth chapter of Crisis Core in it.
Yeah, no, I think I was confusing it with the other mobile game, First Soldier. They did shut that one down.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if do you think that there's a way that you can close the poll on the screen because it's covering part of the chat?
Yeah, I'm gonna end poll because I think we've got a result.
So close to 69. It was a 68.
Oh damn.
That's all right.
But
here, I had a question from literally 25 minutes ago.
Okay, yeah, let's get to some. Like, we've got a lot of questions that have scrolled past.
Yeah, and if anyone has any more, again,
also,
we're still.
If you want your question to be answered sooner, super chat. that
too.
Yeah, like,
oh my god, Rosyna keeps super chatting.
Yeah, like that. Here's the thing: that impatience is what often. In fact, I want to make a mobile game, to make a video on it, where I make a mobile game where it's a mobile game without the concept of time. And what I mean by that is, and I don't mean without. I don't mean that it runs unlimited frame rates or something. No, I mean things like timed events do not exist.
I see.
The limit on how much you can do in a day for that mobile game doesn't exist. Everything else, everything else from a mobile game will be in it. You just won't have the concept of time.
But then how are you going to keep people coming back, Planner? How are you going to profit? Think about our shareholders.
That will be after I would probably do that after I finish one of the games that I'm working on at the moment. Once I finish the triangle stuff, maybe I can port that to something to do with Android. I don't know.
All right. Is the game that you're working on is public on your channel, right?
One of them is.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, one of them is you can download a very old version, but it's hard to work on it because I need more assets for it to be able to make it, and it's I don't have the will to make all the assets.
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make another game where because 3D is actually slightly easier than 2D to make and to making games because
really you wouldn't think so.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so, but I've actually found that 3D is a lot easier. The easiest is merging 3D and 2D elements where appropriate. Right. Things like Octopath Traveler would be a fairly easy game to make, but even just low poly 3D can be quite useful.
Okay. Well, interesting. Again, yeah. So going back from a while ago, this is another one from Raichi. Essentially asked if you have ever tried to reason with a transphobic person and have you changed anyone's mind?
Yeah, I had a debate with in fact I there is a clip that I am going to try and make into a short at some point, from this debate. But I've tried to debate someone on it, and it's one of those things where we annoyingly agree on a lot of stuff, but
okay.
I feel a lot of the stuff he says is also stuff that is we mostly disagree on the sports thing, but I feel a lot of the stuff that he says on Twitter kind of flies in the face of that, and it's but it's really annoying where it's where a lot of the stuff that he says on Twitter is kind of vague and nebulous, and it's why would you do that?
It's crazy how easy it is to be a piece of shit when you're just when you're behind a screen, and then when you're face to face with someone, you actually treat them like a human being.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
I assume there's plenty more questions.
well, actually, not too many. I just have two kind of like shorter ones. And so again, if you guys want to have anything else that you want to ask, then feel free because we're almost caught up here. These two should be pretty short. Bill Muggs asked, very simple, just what kind of keyboard is that in the back, and do you play it?
Oh, yeah, it's a Casio. Like I know a few. I don't have it plugged in, but I know like a few things on it. Like, let me just plug it in, and I usually use it more for composition rather than actually being good at keyboard. But like, here's if I turn it on and let me.
Oh.
I often get that wrong.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I know Tifa's theme. I don't know Aerith's on piano. Maybe I should learn it soon also.
Yeah. I just know the first part.
Yeah. We've got from Rosyna another. At this point, you're gonna spend more on the stream than you did on the game than you did on the microtransactions. But did you order Pride Baffy? I don't know what that is.
Pride Baffy is basically like a Pride version of the Baffy plushie that we've got here.
Oh, I see.
No, I didn't. I just didn't really have the money for it when it came out.
Maybe now with all these donations.
It was a limited time thing, so unfortunately.
Yeah. I see. And then from Bill Muggs here, I've been watching you for years, starting with the Flurf stuff. Can you talk about your keyboard? Well, we just talked about it, or what? Unless we're talking about something else.
I can't annoy everyone when it comes to the keyboard.
Well, they did give us $5. Oh, I say us. They gave you $5. I'm getting a cut, right, for Derry? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
they did give $5, so
I can annoy everyone with the keyboard. I do annoy everyone with the keyboard actually with this particular key.
Oh no! Sorry, I'm on a bit of a delay, so I'm barely seeing it come up.
So yeah, like I do sometimes just put it back to how it normally goes, but like very quickly it does fall down.
Damn. I know at my school people used to rip like the tops of the keys because those are like full like actual they're not like empty at the bottom, it goes down, and so they would just like take like the top part of it off and then just leave it there. We had to have a guy come in and fix it. That was really annoying. But yeah, I think the only last one that I have here, which is pretty easy to answer, was from Silver Harol or Harol, just asking the spelling of Nikki exactly.
Oh yeah, Nikki.
Yeah.
That's I absolutely hate Nicky. That do not spell it like that, please.
So
that's one of the reasons
Nikki
why I've actually. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why sometimes I kind of get concerned about it, but like I think like most people know my name as Nikki from like they can search it. Well, it's in my channel description, so it's like just spell it that way. So yeah.
Another $2 from Rosyna. I'm telling you, you're gonna spend more money on the stream than on the game. Tell us about your computer keyboard and mouse. What's your setup?
Oh, so my mouse is this mouse here, as you can see, pink, and flashy. My keyboard is not a mechanical keyboard, but
Okay.
it is. It does make click-clack sounds and is also pink and lights up. So yeah, but
That's not a mechanical keyboard? It kind of looks like it.
no, it's not a mechanical keyboard. At least it doesn't. I don't think it's a mechanical keyboard. It'd be cool if it was, but like, it's just a keyboard that I got because it was like I need a keyboard. Obviously, I can't not have a keyboard.
Do you have how's your PC? Is it pretty good or?
Oh my PC has like I think actually, one of the cool things I can do with if I go back to the thing, right?
For it.
If I go back to screen and I press F5 again, then we can see here on the thing that it actually says the graphics card that I'm using as a debug message. So NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050 and AMD Radeon. That's the integrated graphics thing.
Pretty good.
I
wish I had that.
Or I could just, press Control Shift Escape and bring the thing over and go performance. And
I don't know how you do all that. I remember there was a while where the Streamlabs chat on the screen integration stopped working for me, and I asked you, how do you get your chat on the screen? And you just sent me like an essay, like all this code, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just gonna switch to Twitch, and so I did.
Yeah, but as you can see, the CPU has a base speed of 4.7 gigahertz and six cores, 12 logical processors, and then there is I have an 8 hard drive, an SSD, and GPU. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Another one from Rosyna. Everything used is wired. It would seem so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wired is faster, isn't it?
Yeah, I am not a big... It's also one of those things where I did actually have a Bluetooth mouse at one point, which is good on a laptop. Not so much if you're using a computer that is placed down by your feet, because that's a lot further distance to
I see.
to the thing, so you'd get times where it wouldn't pick up movement or something. That was annoying, so I'd switch to wired, and yeah. I also
sounds like I do think
Also, I noticed I think I noticed a thing earlier. Since you're gender fluid, are you ever worried that you'll end up too feminine? That's it is too late. I did have that worry, and it is hard to be masculine now, having been on feminizing hormones. However, I do find now that I get more dysphoric if I don't look as feminine as I maybe if I did have a point where I was trying to stop being on spironolactone because it's like progesterone, it can interfere with progesterone, so I tried to stop it, and then I noticed changes in my face that I wasn't too happy with. And so it's like, no, we're going back to being as feminine as we can. So yeah.
Let me see. Just a short one here. Chuck Chases had asked if you have an email. I'm assuming maybe for business or something.
Yeah, I do have an email address. I have email address. I have PO box. But I'm thinking of maybe shutting down my PO box at the end of the year. Because no one sends me anything in it, which is fine.
Have you gotten anything ever?
Yeah, I have actually.
That's cool.
What?
Anything interesting or?
It was a book.
Oh, I'm not muted. Oh.
I see.
So yeah, when it comes to the PO box, I'm thinking about because it does cost a bit of money to keep open, but it is useful if someone wants to send me something and I don't want to give out my actual address.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Oh my god, Rosyna. I hope that I'm saying your name right. Rosyna keeps coming in with the donation. Rosyna. Okay. $4.99. FWIW RIP. Snake refers to the juvenile rattlesnake that bit Kent. I have no idea what any of this comment is saying.
Oh, I know what they mean by that. So basically, there was Kent Hovind was bit by a rattlesnake, and
thrice.
Yeah, apparently 3 times.
What?
I don't know what happened to the snake, but yeah, I had heard about that, and I'm not gonna be I'm not going to comment on it because I feel like it's kind of rude to take like a bit of joy in someone else's suffering, so I'm not going to comment on that.
Wait, Silver Harlow said maybe it's just a Gen X thing, but I know plenty of masculine men who paint their nails. Gen X? Isn't that like before millennials?
Don't you paint your nails, Diego?
Yeah, I do. But I'm Gen Z. Not Gen X. I feel like my parents are Gen X.
Maybe
I don't
they
think that
meant
I've seen
Gen.
that many.
Maybe they meant Gen Z and not Gen
Maybe
X.
they mistyped. Yeah, maybe they mistyped that.
Because X is next to Z on the keyboard.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I'll assume that was the case because I have not seen that many people my parents' age that paint, or that many guys that paint.
Yeah,
but I mean, hey, go off.
I have a video that I need to get around to recording. It's going to be a long video. But like once I've started the video, I'll be able to like paint my nails. There's like I'll probably because I want to like start off somewhat masculine to like get people on my side, but then I'll like at one point I'll just be like fuck
Every
it.
time it cuts back, like wait, you show like what the video you're talking about, and it cuts back, and it's just slightly different, just like one tiny little thing that you don't notice, and by the end of the video, you've completely transitioned. You go back to the beginning, you're like, wait, what happened? No, a lot of Gen X kids painted their nails, mostly back to look intimidating. I see. I guess I'm not too familiar with all of that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I think it's cool to paint your nails. Like even guys should be okay with painting their nails.
The first time that I did it,
Can
I
we
think
just paint everything?
What's that?
Just paint everything. Maybe not your face. Let's not do that.
Actually, yes, do paint your face.
Well, okay, I guess like makeup. I was thinking it more of like a.
It doesn't have to be makeup. Put a fucking butterfly on my face. I don't care.
You're like,
I want to be a tiger.
I was thinking about it in a different way.
Oh, but still paint your face. Yeah, even in that way, still like paint your face. Like you know, I can't. I cannot.
I will paint my face to look like a raccoon, and no one will stop me.
I mean, go off.
I shall embrace the trash panda.
No, I think this was like maybe 2 years ago. A friend of mine needed a ride to go get like some stuff, and she got a bunch of makeup and some nail polish, and she was like, but I want to test out the color. And she was like, can I test it out on you? And I was like, sure. And she did it, and then I was like, yeah, it looks kind of cool. And then I started doing it from then.
Yeah, I sometimes don't have the motivation to paint my nails or to take nail polish that is already on it off, but I do enjoy I do enjoy like doing it occasionally, or if a friend does it. But there is like some I do want to do like I do have like the pastel trans colors that I do need to do at some point.
That's cool.
Also, like doing like little different things. Like I have had red nail polish on with little black dots. That was pretty cool.
Like a ladybug?
Yeah. I've also had yellow nails with black stripes.
Yellow with a black stripe, like a bee?
Yeah.
Okay. It took me a second.
Rosyna. Okay.
So it's like a sh sound.
So
okay.
wait, hold on. Actually, I remember what I was doing earlier. I was going to go to the edit thing because I know that. Yeah. Okay. So. I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
What?
Saying what wrong?
Rosyna's name. I've been saying it wrong at the end
Rosyna?
At the end of every video.
Oh, are they like a? Do you say like the channel member names or something?
I say the patron names.
The patron. Oof.
Like, cause
have you been saying Rosyna, or how do you say it?
Yeah, I've been saying Rosyna Keller.
Damn. Well, at least now you're getting it cleared up. Rosyna.
Yeah, so that's gonna have to change. And here's the thing: will I remember it? If I make a big enough deal, I might.
Make a big deal out of it right now.
Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to do. Make a big deal of it right now, so that I try to remember it. But it's like, how much of a big deal can I make out of?
Just like think of
name.
Rosalina from Mario Party, but instead of Rosalina, it's Rosyna.
Yeah, Rosalina, Rosyna.
Yeah,
close enough. Here, I had one more question from a little bit ago, and then I think I'm not sure what this is in reference to, but they said, "What happened to your so-called evil satanic plushie that Flatzoid was on about?" I think it had horns, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's right here. Just has a hat on.
That's the same one.
Yeah.
I'm editing a video. I will mute.
That is. It's still there.
Did you put the hat to hide it, to make it look more innocent?
No, I put the hat on because it's cold.
I guess it is winter for you over there, right?
Yeah. In fact, like, I actually do like that beanie. I got it for Christmas. And I've worn it a few times, and it's something about, I've worn it a few times, and it gives a nice vibe. Like, the best thing I think would, honestly, I'm going to take this. I'm going to, really quick, put on some clothes. I've already got clothes
Please,
on.
we're live.
Real clothes, you see. So, here we go. We put on this particular outfit. We put the hair to the side like that. I've got it tied back right now. We put this on like that, and then we put the beanie on. I think this is a vibe.
I'm in a bit of a delay. Hold on.
Like I think this looks good. I like.
Okay,
I like how
I'm gonna say you look like a Life is Strange character.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, hey. Oh, another $2 from Rosyna. I got it this time. How do you feel about Dr. Zoidberg? I don't know who that is.
I have not really seen Futurama. So
I see.
yeah. In fact, I'm just gonna put this back on to the thing. So yeah, I have no opinions on Dr. Zoidberg.
Rin is saying, put a hat on it and no one recognizes it. They can't tell that it's a satanic demon when he's wearing it. It looks all cute and innocent.
Yeah.
And then Jessica said, my god, you need a new chair. That's really annoying my OCD.
You can't see now.
Yeah, you're cover. It never shows during video. It looks all professional on video because you're covering it. You should fix that. Futurama's great. I've also never seen it.
But yeah, like I do. I'm getting as much use out of it as I can.
Right. You're gonna use it until it's unusable.
Exactly.
Only when you absolutely need to replace it.
Like when it breaks and impales me, then
Can we start a chair fund, chat?
I actually do have other chairs. One of them is technically not mine.
I am going to go make food. I may or may not be back later.
Okay, take care.
Right.
Later.
I actually, speaking of food, I'm thinking of what I should do for backup, because I am planning on having nachos. However, I do not have half the ingredients. However,
what are you missing?
I'm missing.
You've just got the queso, no nachos.
I don't. What's queso?
Like it's the Spanish word for cheese, but people use it to refer to the liquid cheese that you dip them in.
I don't use liquid cheese. But I do.
What do you use?
So basically, what I don't have is the mince. I don't have the chips. I don't have the beans. I don't have the onion.
Is it the thing that you have the plate?
The thing that I have is the cheese that you put on it, and there's the tomato paste and the capsicum.
Okay.
So
Oh my god. Wait, $10 from Rosyna. I sent you a photo of my friend Jesus on Twitter.
I haven't checked
know that
Twitter
I was,
since this morning, and it's got like I've got like 8 notifications.
I know that I was joking about Rosyna sending more than they spent on on the game, but at this point,
It says here NZ 7969. Nice. So not quite, but then technically, if you include the $50 Patreon support,
it's been $30, so not an insignificant percentage of what you've spent on the game.
So this is. Oh wait, hold on. I just realized I didn't have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jessica. That's like saying that I have a pizza, but I only have the tomato sauce and the mushrooms. That you're missing the core part.
So yeah, this is the Jesus. For anyone that's wondering.
Delay. Oh, there it is. Oh, what the?
Yeah. Anyway, there was something else I was going to mention, or no, I was going to look at Twitter because I have notifications on Twitter.
On stream, that's
no, I've closed.
Okay, good. Sorry, it was still on screen from me. It's like I said, it's not a delay. I'm sorry. Seems legit. I'll never be able to not see the chair. No, I get it.
Okay, I had a funny. I'll go back to the thing. So one person said, "I'm crushing hard on a couple people right now. Do you think it could be you?" And I said, "Probably not. But if it were, I would definitely want to know the chain of events that led to it." And then a huge different. Oh, I just realized.
What's up?
I just realized that I didn't know when I responded to that they followed me. That she followed me. Yeah, so I don't think I've gotten any notifications for new follows. No, I've gotten no yet. So she followed me like ages ago and I didn't realize. And then yeah, that's because like I noticed I noticed the reply or one of the things was, "I'm surprised at how normal I'm acting right now about this." And
What's up?
Okay, I just saw just saw like this. Holy fucking shit, my favorite YouTuber ever commented on one of my tweets, and I'm gonna like put that away just to like not
Damn.
Oh, that is
That's so, wait, you're exposing
I didn't realize
the whole chain of events. Oh no. All right, have a good lunch. Take care, Rin.
Oh, that I am surprised sometimes at how much of an effect I can have on people, like by simply just existing and by simply just existing and saying something to a person, and then they get starstruck, and it's like, whoa, what?
That's pretty crazy. That's funny that you realized it literally live while you were showing their tweet already.
Yeah.
Damn.
I didn't know. It's wild because like it's especially on Twitter. I don't really think of myself as someone who is like popular or anything. Like if someone is in my Discord, like I can get that someone might be starstruck from talking to me. But like it's one of those things which is kind of wild that some people are like shocked that I'll talk to them. It's like I'm just a human. I'm just a person. I like interacting with humans.
Like, I am a girl. I am a teenage girl, only 27 years old.
But yeah, it's honestly wild to me, and I didn't think that. Like, I guess I wanted to get to this point, you know, where I can do that kind of thing, but it's one of those things where I didn't imagine getting to this point, and even like, and it does, because it's been so gradual to get to here. It's like it's been really gradual, and so it kind of feels like not much has changed since the early days of YouTube. Sure, I've got a bigger audience now, but even like in the stream, like only 41 concurrent viewers at the moment.
I wish I was getting 41 concurrent viewers.
So sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm as popular as some people perceive me as, and it's weird. But I guess I don't have a problem with it. Like, I do need to get more people to worship me.
All right.
You know, if people worship me, there's something that they get.
What is that?
Good girl.
All right. And with that, good night, everybody.
One person actually asked a question. So Silly Orb said, going back to gender euphoria and dysphoria for a bit, don't most people get gender euphoria during puberty? It always seems shady/weird to me when trans people are shamed/denied their euphoria. So yeah, I didn't get gender euphoria during puberty. I don't know if that's just me, but I didn't get it. It's one of those things where there are parts of my puberty that, you know, would have happened regardless of which puberty that I had gone through that I didn't like. Like, I'm not a big fan of like some of the hair that I got, but like I didn't get any hair on my chest, which is good. It's just like certain part, but yeah, like I think people don't realize that gender euphoria is a common experience. It's just that when you haven't experienced gender euphoria, actually experiencing it is a different feeling, or it's a lot different than if you had constantly experienced it. It's like eating something for the first time versus eating something for the 50th time. Like, the first time you have something that tastes absolutely nice, you love it, but the 50th time it's kind of like meh. But you wouldn't, like, a good example here is the Impossible Whopper that you get from Burger King. Or we call it here the Rebel Whopper. So, like, the first time I tried it, really great, right? And so I get it every time now. But if I don't get it, it's the patties that they put in it, the meat patties, the actual meat patties, are really dull. Like, they're just... I just can't go back to that. So yeah, I think that's... So yeah, I think that is something that is a good allegory.
I lost the metaphor here.
Like you have some food, you like it, and then after a while it becomes normalized, and so it dies down. The initial thing over it dies down. So, but if you were to go back to the other one, then it's like not as great.
I see. By the way, bye Orion. Thanks for
okay. Take care, Orion. I'm actually probably going to end stream real soon. So
yeah, how long has it been?
It's been 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Pretty good stream.
Yeah. Also got a few super chats. Like, I wasn't, like, with the amount of people viewing, I didn't expect to get that many super chats.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I didn't expect to see that Twitter thing. Like, there's been a few things that have happened in the stream that I didn't expect.
It was an eventful stream regardless.
Yeah. I always like when something unexpected happens.
Yeah.
It's just weird that some people deny that dysphoria is more common and unrelated to trans. Yeah, like one of my favorite examples is the person who was the main character in She's the Man, right? She is a cis person, or a cis woman, who had to present as a guy, and because of that, had gender dysphoria.
Oh my god!
Holy shit! So, I think it's close to the thing.
It's at 80 now, I believe. But if you want to also count the Patreon and other stuff.
Yeah, holy shit, I did not... I'm shook. I am shook. Well, I guess... I guess that's a good good way to start rounding up the stream.
before Rosyna goes broke.
Yeah, before that happens, I being serious for a second. Being serious for a second. Like when it comes to, how do I put it? I'm trying to only super chat if you have the money.
Right.
I don't want anyone to spend too much. I know what it's like to have financial issues, right? Now, to be fair, if you're spending that much money on super chats, probably not got financial issues. The only financial issues that you have are probably from spending too much money on super chats.
And mobile games.
Yeah, and mobile games. But I don't want anyone to bankrupt themselves on me. So yeah, spend responsibly. You know, right. I know what it's like to have financial troubles. I haven't posted many videos recently, so I've been trying to save on. I've actually been trying to save on food, and it's amazing what you can do if you actually think about what you're getting. Though I do have a lot of baked beans that I can. I've several cans of baked beans that I got years ago, and the great thing about baked beans is that they last for ages. It's I can buy a loaf of bread for $1.20, and have a can of baked beans, which is I think they're up to $2 now. When I got some of these cans, they were 80 cents or something. But yeah, I think cans of baked beans are up to about $2. And then I need a tin of garlic, or a thing of crushed garlic, which doesn't have to just be used on what I make it for. And what else do I... So, bread, that. Cheese, which, is I get a $10 block, and just... I really like eating cheese.
The only ingredient that you have of the nachos. You're missing the actual nachos, but you have the cheese.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Turtle Move said Rosyna is trying to single-handedly get you that new chair.
Okay, yeah. I was just a little bit distracted by something real quick. What else was I going to say? Oh, and then I need to add hot sauce as well. I get I get a particular brand of well, not a particular brand, but a particular thing of hot sauce where it's Carolina Reaper.
Oh, okay.
But it isn't it isn't as spicy as a Carolina Reaper.
Right.
It's just got a bit of Carolina Reaper in it. And
essence of Carolina Reaper.
And it's real nice and spicy, and I added a few drops of that into the thing. So basically, what we call them is toasty pies. So in case you haven't heard, you butter some bread, and then you have a toasty pie maker. Basically, everyone in New Zealand has one of these. you put the bread into the toasty pie maker, butter side down. Then you put some baked beans or spaghetti. Some people use, or some people even use egg. Maybe I should have that sometime. But yeah, you put that into the thing. Then you put some like cheese in, and I put garlic in with it because like I love garlic. And then I had some hot sauce, some salt, other flavorings. Pepper also goes quite well. Actually, I add that before I add the cheese because I do like a slice of cheese. And then you put the other piece of bread that's buttered on top of that, and you press it down, and it seals the edges, and it tastes really nice.
So living the student life, baked beans and pot noodles, pretty much.
I have managed to make noodles fancy. I've managed.
I mean, yeah, it can be done, yeah.
You just add cheese and a lot more spice.
Rosyna said, it sounds like you're getting really hungry.
I am starting to get really hungry. I should probably like cook up something because I might be hanging out with someone later today. I'm not sure. It's one of those things where I hope we're going to be hanging out. And if we do hang out, we will be getting the ingredients for nachos.
Nice. The actual nachos themselves.
Yeah, like
the key one here.
Because like here's the thing. I will be buying. I think I'll probably get her to buy the mince, and I'll buy the beans, the onion, the beans, onion,
and the beans
chips.
And the onion and the beans and the onion.
Bean, onions, chips, and sour cream as well. And I'll probably need some sauce to go on it too, because you get sweet chili sauce to go on it, and that's really nice. And I've already got cheese, obviously.
Yep, of course, you wouldn't miss the cheese.
Yeah, so that is the idea, if things work out. Which
all right.
I hope they do. I was thinking
Jalapeno?
That would be nice. But I've already got capsicum, and it doesn't need to be super spicy. I like sometimes when you cook for other people, you don't know their spice tolerances, and so it's like, oh hey, let's try things. Let's try not too spicy to start off with, and then like slowly raise it. Especially since I've noticed that for some people, estrogen has absolutely killed their spice tolerance. That is something that I have noticed. People, testosterone seems to mean that, for a lot of people, means that they have a higher spice tolerance, and
Really?
Yeah. In general, obviously it also depends on how much spice you're exposed to. If you're exposed to a lot of spice, then you're gonna have a higher spice tolerance. That's why there's some people that will find. I've heard of people that find salt too spicy.
Okay, all right. That's come on. Wait, black olive? Should we just start a freaking recipe channel on the Discord now and make this communal nachos?
I need to look into making biscuits. And by biscuits, I mean the American style biscuits that we don't
little
have.
Bread.
What's that?
The little bread ones?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's like I've never tried them. Am I weird for it being really annoying when people say spicy when they mean hot? Chili isn't spicy; it's hot. That's why the term is hot and spicy. That's
I didn't. This is the first time hearing of this difference.
Yeah,
personally,
I refer to something as like when something is hot and spicy. That means that it's hot and that means it's spicy.
I thought they were synonyms. I didn't realize that there was a distinction.
Yeah, I thought there are synonyms too.
I mean, obviously, hot can also mean like warm. right? Like
Yeah.
temperature wise, but it could. I thought hot could also be used as a synonym for something being spicy without it necessarily having to be warm. Mint can be spicy.
Yeah, I suppose.
I guess I see what you mean.
Mm.
Like, okay, I get it. I think I understand. Yeah, cinnamon, mint. Yeah, it would just okay.
I think that like at some yeah I kind of get that like people say that like when people say spicy they can I think people can also mean like wasabi is often seen as spicy, but wasabi I've found isn't actually hot. It's just spicy.
Yeah. We're getting into semantics at this point.
Yeah. But like wasabi like isn't hot, it's spicy. And the thing about wasabi is that I get a reaction that is far closer to that of eating raw onions from cinnamon, not cinnamon, from wasabi than that of anything like
Cinnamon is spice? Let me look it up.
than anything about the
Considered as...
you know, it's not anywhere near like eating a pepper, for example. You know.
Cinnamon is not considered a spice.
Oh. That's interesting.
Wait. Hold up.
Okay, here's how we're gonna end the stream. Okay. You give me like distract them for a minute.
So, I think I lied. Cinnamon is considered a spice. It's derived from the inner bark of trees from the genus Cinnamomum. Cinnamomum. So, okay, I guess yes, cinnamon can be spicy. What about the wasabi? Yeah, yes, cinnamon is a spice. These better be tortilla chips. Well, he hasn't bought them yet. Sorry, they. I guess they just go by they. Yeah, they on Discord. Cinna, your mom. That's what I'm saying.
So what's things?
We're arguing over whether cinnamon is a spice. We settled that it was.
Okay. Okay, so I have cinnamon here. Ground cinnamon. How much of it do you want me to have?
Let's see the next bidder. Let's make it a donation incentive.
Because like I've never actually had like a spoonful of cinnamon, and I don't have a spoon on me right now.
Cinnamon challenge in 2024.
I don't know what a safe amount is.
Yeah.
Don't burn. Well, we'll have a decent. We'll have a like. I'll put. Okay, how's this? We'll have this amount. Right.
The ice bucket challenge.
And
I'll remember that you still have to. You're gonna hang out with a friend later, so.
Yeah. Well, what I'll do is I'll do the tongue thing where you go like.
I did this one time and I had to do it outside because I spat it all out and it exploded everywhere.
Oh, that tastes really nice.
Okay.
Did they put sugar in this? No, just says
Don't breathe it in. Yeah.
flavor sweet and woody. Yeah, that's what I'm trying not to do. Breathe it in, you know. It's fine. Getting a little bit spicy.
Yeah, literally spicy.
It's not that bad. It's like eating a cinnamon roll, except
Line it up with a credit card and sniff it.
no. I you know.
Let's not do that.
Stop when your tongue
tells it. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
I think when I did it as a kid, I literally just like I had like essentially the same amount that you did, but I just poured it all in my mouth like at the same time. It was not a good idea.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be bad. I'm doing a different method. You know,
Yeah,
I is smart.
I was a stupid kid.
I actually have noticed that when it comes to vacuuming, whenever I vacuum, you get a smell of cinnamon because I accidentally spilt a bunch and vacuumed it up, and now the vacuum makes things smell like cinnamon. Would love to be able to answer how much is safe, but websites won't want me to either consent to them selling the contents of my hard drive to 666 sponsors or spend an hour declining cookies by one. That's how I eat salt, by licking my palm. Oh, good. I'm not the only one then.
That sounds awful. I mean, you guys do you, but yeah.
This is actually quite nice.
Wait, don't look up what can happen from cinnamon overdoses. I don't want to look up, especially after you said that.
What's a cinnamon?
Oh no!
I feel like I'm not having enough to have an overdose.
No, you're fine. You're fine. That would be one gnarly way to go. A cinnamon overdose. It's like, oh yeah, they passed away because that'd be so stupid. It's like this. Oh my god. They're talking about it in like a police report. They're like, they passed away because of an overdose. Oh, what was it? Alcohol, freaking pills, drugs? No, it was cinnamon.
Cinnamon is the new
Hot
fentanyl.
water to make it paste. Okay, we're just full on like the stream lost the plot.
You see, that's the stream transitioned.
Oh, you're so funny. Here, hold up.
I've made plenty of jokes about that, like my background transitioned.
Right. There we go.
You're transgender that... No,
I
you're
thought you were gonna say
transgender.
that
That's so cool.
Oh yeah, you're right, Jenner. I thought you were gonna say it transcended. The stream transcended.
I mean, yeah.
I live in New Zealand. I can answer any questions you have.
Oh yeah, like I made a joke at the start of the stream saying this is a Q&A stream, but it's I ask you the questions, not you ask me the questions.
It's a trivia. Everyone has to know it.
Yeah, Q&A streams are just trivia.
It's A and Q actually. It's not Q&A. It's A and Q.
It is 9:41 a.m. in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's really early.
So yeah, it's like I basically got up early. Like, here's the thing: I actually went to sleep early last night. And then got up really early at like 1 a.m. because my brain was like,
Oi.
you get up now. Oh, thank you, Latte.
Yeah, Latte, I was gonna say I noticed your little my profile picture.
What?
Isn't the profile picture of my? Am I crazy? I can't zoom into it.
Yeah, I can't zoom in either. I don't know what
It looks like. It's a character from a cartoon.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what cartoon you're talking about. Also, almost got rid of all the cinnamon.
In one go. No. You're gonna cinnamon overdose.
Just the idea of cinnamon overdosing. Okay, yeah,
But like from the way that Silly Orb made it sound, it's quite serious.
Oh, Silly Orb says, Nikki, props for your Vulcan engine. I'm a game dev. Oh yeah, like I am mostly following a tutorial, but when it comes to the Vulcan stuff, let me go back to it and bring it over.
Christmas and summer, yep. It's that's how it is.
No, wrong thing. So yeah. Like I'm mostly following a tutorial, but like there are things that I understand and things that I've done myself. Like when it comes to this thing here, the input management stuff, like that's stuff that I've had to properly learn C++ for. Same with the game component stuff. Now I kind of did a thing that is going to make any C++ developer cry. So avert your eyes if you.
If you're a developer, look away.
Yeah. So I've kind of put some of the things in the some of the functions in the header. Like wrote them in the header when they should probably be in the C++ file. Actually, no. That's not something that's a crime. You know why? You know what?
I don't.
Because, like, I had to download this STB image thing. Yeah. That STB image.h thing that you see there is just a header file with everything in it. It's...
I wish I could contribute.
Yes,
Single header libs do that.
Yeah, because basically I got this. The tutorial said, "Hey, download this thing and you'll be able to like easily import images." It does have a thing of, "Hey, download this thing and you'll be able to easily import other stuff." But it's like, no, I'm actually not doing that. I'm going to do something different because I want to use GLTF files. That's my favorite file format. Everyone should use GLTF file format. The hard part is obviously the JSON parser, but I'll manage. I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, Latte. We're no. Why did I type that? By the way, Planner, when you're on the full screen webcam mode, for a second, it kind of looks like that door or curtain behind you is just trans flag colored.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because I decided to put for the chat. I decided to put a for the chat. I decided to have a trans flag behind it to kind of make it stand out a bit.
It kind of does look like it though. I mean, I guess if you look closely, you can see that it bleeds into the wall a little bit, but at first glance, it just looks like you have that just painted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway,
well,
I'm probably going to end up the stream.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably need to head out also.
Yeah, because like I've had the cinnamon overdose.
She's officially overdosed on cinnamon, chat. We will give a live update in a couple of hours.
Oh, that's
if it turns out to be fatal, all of the super chats will go to me. Just know, and I'm getting that in writing. After this,
actually, it should be if it goes to you, then you've got to transition because it has to go. Like these have been donations to a trans charity, so.
Oh, you're donating it? Okay, all right.
No. Like what I'm.
Oh my god, we're getting more.
Swift Godot. I don't really want to use Godot. Like just simply because it's like I spent enough time learning. I've spent enough time learning Unity, and enough time trying to learn Unreal. So it's like, okay, let's just create my own engine. So yeah.
I'm not sure what this is. A20? Is that
Australian?
Okay, yeah. Well, thank you, Jazz, for the 20.
Yeah, but thank you. Like I was about to end up the stream.
Yeah.
But now it feels like I have to go. Now it feels like I have to go for 5 more minutes.
It's the subathon tactic. People keep donating, and you feel guilty, and you have to keep stay alive.
Yeah, it's one of, maybe I should do something like that. I do know that like I am going to like do a few things, like probably actually after I make this, probably like after I finish streaming, I'll see how the audio is, and because I have heard a few things go past outside. In fact, I do hear something like low rumbling things, which I don't like. But yeah, I'll definitely like get round to Space Oddity was voted for, and that will be a thing. Anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say YouTube just enabled it so that you can gift memberships. I think not that long ago.
Yeah. That is something that I'm going to try and take a little bit more advantage of. I haven't really even done much for members, and I feel like I should.
Or we're getting that cover soon.
Yeah. I just have to make sure that I actually do good on the cover. So I'll probably get a bit of practice in after the stream.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, leave a like and subscribe if you like that stream. Hopefully it was informative. That's what I do try to do. I'll probably have a few videos focused on Pride stuff, but the next video will be on Flat Earth. When I say a few videos focused on Pride stuff, I mean this month, given that it's US Pride Month. But next video will be
US Pride Month.
Yeah.
I have to specify.
In New Zealand, Pride Month is in March, I think it is.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So the next video will be why Flat Earth will never... Why serious people...
Flat Earth?
Why Flat Earth will never be taken seriously by serious people.
All right.
And I am staying hydrated. I've got a thing here to keep hydrated.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me on, of course.
Yeah.
Anytime.
All right. I will see everyone in the next video. Between you and me, thank you.
Bye, guys.
For watching.